Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Twisted in the Twilight, where, after a day of very frustrating technical problems, we're back, and starting this episode on what is perhaps the most perfect possible image of where our campaign is at. The assembled forces of order rushing at us across a scorched wasteland of our own design to stop us from committing the horrible crime of liking trees a lot? I think that's it. I think that's what they're mad about. It's the trees. Probably not the betrayal and the backstabbing and the murders. It's probably because we like trees. So we are one turn away from completing our Ritual of Rebirth here. The deep roots are off cooldown, and I think it has been the case previously that the deep roots go off cooldown immediately when you finish a ritual. So we may as well use them now. I don't know for sure that we need to protect the Oak of Ages. It may turn out to be the case that it doesn't matter whether we hold on to the Oak, but it also might. The final battle does hinge around the Oak, so I figure we may as well pop somebody over here to play defense, and probably it ought to be the sisters, right? Because something tells me that this is under control. I suspect, even with this number of enemies around us and headed right for us, with the sisters gone, we'll still be okay. We have a couple of elves left in the area.
Twin defenders of the glades.
The sisters do still have some crummy units left in their army that we maybe want to change up a little bit. Like, okay, I don't want to fire the Glade Guard and just hire in new units. Because, of course, we want to make sure we're taking advantage of, like, this stuff. We would not be hiring new units in at rank 7. The bonuses from this are not, like, totally amazing. 10% range is nice. The ammunition's nice. So I don't want to, like, just fire the Glade Guard and hire in new low-rank Way Watchers. But we do already have some functional Way Watchers. Well, maybe. Hold on. Okay, this army only has one unit of high... Like, Tuduthis's Way Watchers are low enough level that they don't benefit still. Maybe I was wrong about this. Maybe we don't have a lot of viable Way Watchers. We do have a couple units. We have a couple instances of the Regiment of Renown due to cheating, due to hiring what do you call it, confederating Drycha in when she was already using hers. So that's kind of neat. What is the actual difference? What is the thing that they get that is special when compared to the normal version of this guy? Unfortunately, we don't really have a good direct comparison. We need to get them in an army with some normal Way Watchers. Okay, Phaonix has some normal ones. So
Anything is possible.
Let's have Phaonix go over to the sisters, and I think we can just trade out all of these archers for these ones. I know we don't get gold ranks on these Glade Guard, but these are the poison ones, and I do like that poison debuff. And then, I mean, while we're here, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not wild about the eagle. Like, I'll go eagle for dragon straight up. I think that's pretty reasonable. And then, do we want to bounce anything else? I like the Wildwood Rangers, but there's no reason to use these really low tier ones when we have higher tier ones available. I don't necessarily think this army wants Blade Singers. Do we want to trade out anything else? I'm happy with the Wildwood Rangers. I'm happy with the Ezrai Spears. We don't really get a lot of use out of this this unit of Great Stag Knights because this army composition just isn't really well suited to having a single unit of cavalry. And they don't play a good cavalry defense role the way the Zotes do. So I guess we would replace them with either like Sisters of the Thorn for more arrows or a Tree Man for more Tree Man. You know, I like the Tree Man. I think this is a reasonable trade. And then the question is, do we want to try to get some of those Regiment of Renown Way Watchers in here too?
Your request is reasonable.
That's not you. Here we go. You know, honestly, I think this is pretty solid. I think we're just gonna go like this. So let's deep root the sisters over to here. Alright, and what else is going on around here? We do have some Bretonnians, actually. Can we...
Fight only when necessary.
Huh. The sisters have a weird amount of movement left that doesn't... I don't think that's showing up in the bar the way it's meant to. I mean, we can just sit and play ambush. There's no reason for us to do anything aggressive. Dulas has refilled her army, and yeah, we'll just sit here and protect the oak. So do we need to do anything to these armies before we commit? We should probably put Phaonix back in ambush mode. Oh, apparently I spent 100% of my movement walking over to talk to the sisters. I mean, that's fine. It's a single army that looks like it's out of position amidst all the ambushes is actually a pretty effective bait. So I guess, like, the worst thing that could happen here is for our ambushes to be cancelled by this hero. So let's just make sure he's not over here to be able to do that. Alright, Varsio ending the campaign on a high note after some embarrassingly long strings of failure. And is there something else we should do before... I guess we could fire the forge one last time. We could reforge some dreaming boots. This is not going to matter, but also there's no reason not to do it because the campaign is not going to last another 5 turns, probably. And yeah, I guess with that, we are ready. Let's see what these AI forces have for us. Honestly, even if they all come at us, I think there's a pretty good chance that we are not in any danger. We have fortified this forest appropriately. It's nice to see that the Exiles of Nahek are still doing well over here in the corner. See, I can be a loyal friend. All you have to do is be on my side, come when I call, and never, ever obstruct my access to a tree. Reichlanders embarrassing themselves nice and early in the turn. Huh. Boy, if I didn't know better, I'd say that Wolfram Herdwig is planning to attack us, but if he is, then why would Balthazar Gelt run away instead of coming to support him? Oh, the sisters' ambush was foiled. But then... Wait, what happened? The sisters' ambush was foiled, but then this army ran in and just attacked me straight up? I mean, okay. Get chomped. It's a weird series of choices. Wow, that was a lot of money. And not that it means anything to us at this point, but wow, that was a lot of money. I guess we'll take... I would rather have missile strength over physical defense. The best defense is murdering all of your opponents before they get anywhere near you. It is embarrassing for the sisters to fail an ambush, like, right there at the end, in the final moments of the campaign. So I think what happened is that one Bretonnian army ran in and sieged the city so that the city's garrison would not be able to show up to the battle's reinforcements. But then they still just went 2-on-2 with us and obviously got horribly embarrassed. And we've become so good at fighting on boats. Hooray! Right, we have in fact achieved victory over men. Just so many times. And we're going to build our special building here. Just to show everybody who is the boss of the Forest of Gloom. For the moment, it is me. So did our objective list update correctly? Yeah, okay. Looks like we're cool. Looks like all we have to do is win this final battle. Did the sisters... No, we did not 100% heal from that battle. 2 of the units of Wildwood Rangers are very, very slightly injured. But you know what? I think it's fine. I think we're ready to just do this. So we're up against a bunch of beastmen. This battle is one where a lot of reinforcements come in, so the fact that this is the initial army doesn't tell us very much. But yeah, I think the time has come. Let's do this thing. Let us go forth and defend the oak. The way that we always defend everything, by charging violently into a battle far away from the oak. So we should probably equip our banners. Yeah, armor-piercing weapon damage on you. One of the primary things that units gain by leveling up is leadership. If you look here, these rank 9 Wildwood Rangers have 106 against the 94 of these rank 6s. So if you have a leadership banner, it's usually a good idea to put it on one of your lower tier units. In particular, units that you think are probably going to get hit a lot, like melee units. So what we're actually up against is, first of all, in this army, notable stuff, Centaurs with throwing axes. These are armor-piercing missiles, and they're actually fairly powerful if these guys get on something in a group. So it will be important to make sure we burn them down quickly to maintain the strength of our Hawk Riders. And then they have a Cygor, which, if you'll remember, is an artillery unit. It's a big giant that throws huge rocks, so that's a high priority. The second force that's going to come in has, I believe, Malagor is a pretty powerful wizard, and a real good fighter, wizard relative. They got a Gorbol, which is a very dangerous type of Minotaur. They got a real giant, that's a thing. A couple units of Harpies. You can see Harpies have real bad stats, 22 melee attack. So they're not a huge danger to most things, but I would be afraid to let them get into our Hawk Riders for too long. We're gonna have to make sure we deal with these quickly, because I want my Hawk Riders free to shoot at stuff. Morgur the Shadowgave, also a powerful wizard, like a real powerful wizard, if I'm not mistaken, and he brings with him additional wizards, and then a whole bunch of Razor Gores. These are terrifying. They're very, very powerful anti-infantry, armor-piercing, they're like boars. They're like boars made of horns and hatred. And then we got some Chaos Spawn, also quite dangerous. These ones at least only have 10 armor, and they're large. So they're real easy to shoot down. They will munch up infantry real quick. And then finally, Khazrak the One-Eye with a bunch of Minotaurs and a bunch of Centaurs, great big cavalry that I honestly don't think are that impressive in actual combat, but they sure are big. And then Bestigors, which are like real, actual melee units with armor-piercing damage and stuff. I gotta level with you, and I don't mean to make this anticlimactic by doing so. I kind of think the Beastmen army is real crummy, and a lot of their units are pretty bad, so this might not be all that difficult. A great horde of Beastmen besiege the Oak of Ages. There are Brayherds present from every corner of the old world. Morgur has summoned to him the dark omen Malagor, and even Khazrak the One-Eye is said to be stalking the field. The Beastmen are drawn here to enact a final bitter blow against the roots of life itself. Which seems counterproductive, because Beastmen, they do have to live. And also, they can't just, kill all plant life, because they gotta eat and stuff. I don't really know what their term is, what their plan is in any kind of long-term sense.
You have the strength to stop Morgur.
Thanks, old guy.
Let the whole
Man.
furnace blast one last time in triumph, and rid the world of these foul creatures forever.
Forest dragons do look really cool. Alright, so here's our great big oak. We have very strong feelings about it. This battlefield, we're going to be pretty outnumbered here. Like I said, I don't think their units are particularly good, but they are numerous. But this battlefield has some nice high ground, some nice embankments and stuff, so we can, even though we all have Vanguard deployment, I think we do want to stay back. Let's use this little cliff to our advantage. Let's make it really awkward for them to get melee onto us, right? I put these guys down facing the wrong direction. There we go. That's probably a little smarter. And then we can put the other archer unit in here. And then we just set up to defend the high ground, right? Put a couple of melee units over here, and a couple of melee units over here, and we may have to reposition a bit as the enemy cavalry moves around. We'll keep the Zotes in reserve back here. Can I hide the Zotes in I mean, these little bits of wood are not dense enough to hide a unit that size, probably. Yeah, never mind. I'm not too worried about hiding them. We'll just keep them nearby. Tree man for the same purpose. Just here, so if enemy cavalry get around us. And then, of course, this first army doesn't really have any range aside from the Centaurs, right? So I think what we're going to do is just try to burn them down extremely quickly. Where do we want Ariel? Ariel can stand on this side. This is the side that's a little short on melee. She's a pretty good fighter in her own right. Oh, dragon. Dragon, get over here. We can do some dragon breathing. The Spellsinger can fly, doesn't necessarily need to be quite as far forward. Alright, so where are those Centaurs? Let's make sure they get the early volleys. I want to get rid of the Centaurs as quickly as possible so that we can then get to work on the Cygor quickly in relative safety. So you come over here and work on this. I suspect we're not gonna... I suspect that first big volley is gonna do some pretty decent damage. And then, like, honestly, Flock of Doom is gonna be pretty good against these guys. It's real cheap. And it does good damage to lots of weak, massed up units, which is exactly what we're seeing here. Trying to lead them a little bit, make sure we get the best damage we can. And Dragon, go and also breathe on whatever's left of these guys. Okay, let's see how that works. Wow, that is more than I thought it was going to be. Get me a Gwendolor, and then you should ride forward and probably Dragon Breath the other Centaurs. Let's get over here and make sure we finish them off. So there's the Cygor Rock. Okay, it missed. That's good. Wow. This is working really fast. I think all of the Way Watchers started shooting at the Centaurs immediately. So you can see they do have a couple of traditional archer units as well, but I'm not really worried about them because, surprise, Beastman Archer's not very good. We're just gonna archer battle them real fast, and then it is on the Cygor. They're poor, like everything that they run up here is just getting torn apart by archers so quickly. All right. Now, Beastmen are a little bit like Skaven in that they do a lot of, like, break and run away and then reform and come back shenanigans, so we do want to keep an eye on these units as they flee. You know what? This might be a fine time for an Eagle Quiver. Let's make sure this thing gets dealt with. Okay, they didn't really do that much damage, but it's fine. So here comes the second group of reinforcements. This is the one with the Harpies. Let's get the Dragon and the Eagle over here. Rebreak. We'll big volley the Centaur and see if that... Okay, that was pretty effective. Do they have any archers over here at all? No, they do not. Alright, go fight Harpies. They do have Kazrak the One-Eye, who is actually quite a powerful melee combatant on his Razor Gore chariot. So we do have to care about that. Let's maybe have the sisters come over here and help with this. He's tough, and Razor Gore is not a joke. Also, man, did they make these grosser? I don't think they were this gross before. Wow, you can see his whole... Ugh. Whatever, it's fine. Dragon should defeat Harpies in no time at all. All this stuff is running, but it's not running enough for my taste. I'm going to keep the hero on that. And should we... Now, I don't think we need to pursue any of the other stuff, but we need to make sure that Cygor actually gets defeated. So let's bring the Eagles over here and have them start working on probably the incoming, like, Bestigors, maybe? No, the Centaurs. Get over here and work these Centaurs. And let's do some spell casting. So we have a lot of units who are on the wrong side of this particular battlefield at the moment. Oh, wow. Actually... things are going pretty rough for Kazrak the One-Eye over here. Unfortunately, he is riding a chariot that is pretty large and easy to shoot. Alright, let's buff up these units. Get some speed reducers out here. Well, that's taken forever to cast. Dragon beat the Harpies it was fighting. Weirdly, Gwendolor is losing to a single unit of Harpies with no backup. How is this even... Boy, that's hugely embarrassing for Gwendolor. Could you guys give him a little support? Turns out Gwendolor might be awful at his job. So we have some of these things turning around to fight our hero, and there's not a ton of them left on the ground. Actually, there's still quite a few. These guys don't have armor-piercing ammunition, and our hero's pretty heavily armored. You know what? I'm going to have the dragon reroute in this direction. Let's just... I bet just a little push will re-break them. But we do want to make sure that that Cygor's not coming back. And you can, first of all, reconduit, and secondly, recrow? Yeah, I think crowing these Bestigors is probably going to do a fair amount of damage. Okay, this is going pretty well so far. I'm going to have the Tree Man run back over here, because, yeah, reinforcements are coming in from the other side real soon. I'm going to have the Zotes pursue, though. Make sure that those guys get actually pushed off the map. Alright. Is he still throwing rocks from that distance? What can he actually hit from over here? Nothing, really. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He actually does seem to just be standing still. Nope, here he goes. I think he's trying to bullseye our Hawk Riders out of the air? He sure is. What a decision. What a thing that you're technically allowed to do. Alright, let's get over here. We probably want Ariel to report to this side of the battle as well. It would be great if we could actually get rid of this thing. So what do they have on this side? They got more Harpies. Okay, the Gorbel, the Giant. This is a big force, but it's not necessarily a hugely dangerous force. So far, very little has gotten through to our melee. Alright, there's no reason for you to be on the ground anymore. Now that you have terrified their Cygor into leaving the battlefield. Apparently, let's make absolutely sure we get rid of these Harpies quickly, because this could be a problem. Sometimes eagles lose to Harpies. You know what? Let's have you Dragon Breath these guys. So a lot of Beastmen units are just like stealthy all the time, and we do need to be wary of that. Let's make sure that we're targeting the right units down here. Would love it if they didn't have archers anymore. Again, I know I'm like just using the same spells over and over again, but crows are really good against masses of crummy units. Gwendolyn, why don't you go hang out over here for a while? Just be in reserve. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing with their units here, because it seems to me like the move for them would be to bring their melee units toward my melee units, right? Instead of just dancing back and forth underneath the arrows. Very strange decision-making. Alright, so the dragon endured a little bit of fire, but it's got that under control pretty easily. This one's not on a mount, right? No, this is the Dark Omen himself. Listen, he's a cool guy. He's got big crow wings. You can't say that's not neat. And he's of real powerful magic, but he seems to have forgotten how to use it. Wow. What is going on with these Harpies? Why are all of a sudden, why are Harpies okay units? They're like mathematically terrible. They're really, really awful. But they just they did a lot of damage to a dragon there somehow. Alright, it is not clear to me what the opponent's strategy is. I do not understand. You know what? Let's bring the dragon back over here and get a little bit of healing.
Awaiting orders.
Here seems like maybe a good time for the good old Amber Spear. Let's just throw an Amber Spear clean through Malagor. See if that works. Ha! Wow. Okay, that was pretty effective. Alright, enemy archers have returned. Let's do our last volley over here in the hopes of catching some of these ground units up in it. It's mighty effective, if I do say so myself. Alright, those archers are permanently broken. Now they're finally close enough to get some of this. And I brought you over here so you could get some replenishment. These are not very good heals, unfortunately. Alright, let's let those guys get permanently broken. You can Dragon Breath. Let's go crows and spears and stuff. Where's Malagor? Did he run? I don't know. We'll Amber Spear the giant. That's fine. Alright, one more unit of enemies coming in, and this is the part where we're kind of running out of strategy 1. Fortunately, we've done basically no strategy 2 at all. Like, our melee units are very fresh, very ready. But we are getting pretty low on arrows overall. Let's keep feeding the dragon. Try to get this guy back into fighting shape. And I guess Gwyndolor can get some heals eventually, too. So what do we got? Chaos Spawn. Oh, this is the one with the Razor Gore Herds and stuff. This is the one that's actually going to be really dangerous to our melee if we let them get in too close. Let's switch the Sisters back into Talon of Dawn mode and burn the Chaos Spawn first. Chaos Spawn are pretty terrifying beasts. They will do a lot of damage. They poison, and also they're unbreakable. You can't make them run. You do have to kill every single one of them. But they sure do take damage. Like a lot of damage, very effectively, from everything. Where are my Zotes at? Did I... Yes, I let them chase a thing to the edge of the map and never remembered to recall them. Oh, the Spirits of the Forest are coming to our aid. That's neat. Do I have control of them? No, okay, they're an AI ally unit. Oh! Oh, spellcasting. Right, back up. I remember spells. Spells are a thing. Okay. Yeah, wow, that did a lot of damage, and it pulled those units in, and, unfortunately, it pulled those units in and held them in place. Alright, so there's not a lot left of the Chaos Spawn. We've done an okay job of thinning them out. Let's drop some buffs on them. A little bit of physical resistance will do us good on this side. And I think it is time to start dropping stuff. So Morgur definitely gets dragoned, right? The enemies on this side are mostly broken. I think we can just drop some big units on him. You over here... I don't know, you just back up for a second. The Hawk Riders are basically out of ammo. I'm going to have them fall back a little bit, and then we can have them drop on the backside of something. And where's the Sisters? Sisters still have a ton of ammunition left. I'm going to pull the Sisters back to here so that we can spread buffs on people, but we're also definitely going to drop our other Eagle Quiver here. Let's try to get rid of Morgur quickly. Stand your ground, everyone. Is that a whole unit of Chaos Spawn that I just missed somehow? Yeah, crows are reasonable here. Alright, stand and receive the charge. Yeah, you have abilities. No, don't go into attack mode. You're doing just fine.
For harmony, for the hunt.
Did our allies get... No, they're coming. They're all tree men, so it's gonna take them a while. And our dragon almost died. I'm not 100% sure what happened to that dragon. He was fine, and then he got up in the air, and then he suddenly took a ton of damage. Oh, no, I do know what happened to him. Morgur has a spell that he can cast on any unit that's, like, very low on health, and it erupts into Chaos Spawn. That's what happened there. So, our forest dragon nobly sacrificed his life to defeat Morgur, and Morgur, in a moment of final spite, turned it into a horrible monster that we had to kill. Well, we will always remember that dragon whose name I never knew. A close victory. Was it close, though? Because, like, we did lose a dragon and 65 archers. That was really all of the damage that was done there. I gotta say, the poor beastmen really need some love. It's a cool battle, though. I really like those battles where you have to, like, stand in place and, like, you are on the defense and enemies come in just, like, huge waves. I think, though, given the strength of Wood Elves right now relative to the strength of Beastmen, they do probably need to dial up the number of Beastmen units in that encounter, because it's a thing that you're guaranteed to get at the very, very end of your campaign when you can have the best stuff available. So, you know, just dial the difficulty up on that a tiny bit. Lots and lots of kills on all of the archers, very little engagement from most of the melee. Some of these melee units never actually made contact with an enemy.
Smile upon us.
Our quest is complete,
Cruelty, eh?
and then we ransom the rest of the beastmen, I guess? I don't even know what that process looks like. And are we good? Do we need to... It looks like... Okay.
Glory of
I thought there was a non-zero chance that we were going to have to go back and get control of the other forests, so I'm glad to see that that was actually the thing. That's a fun battle. That's a cool, fun battle that they probably just need to dial up the difficulty on a little bit, because, boy, they sure have made the Wood Elves very effective. And I have to say, I am a huge fan of the new campaign mechanics. The old Wood Elf campaign was just about leveling up the Oak of Ages, and the mechanics of doing that were such that you had to spread out over the land a little bit in order to get the resources necessary to do so, but you would end up spending your entire campaign basically in, like, this area. So I really like this new thing where you're going to all the corners of the campaign world, but you don't have to actually cross the distances involved. You get to get into stuff with basically every other type of faction on the map. This is just, like, a really cool, well-designed campaign. I am way into this. Out of curiosity, how many battles did we actually fight? We sure did have an awful lot of money. No income from pirate coves, though. What was I thinking? Here we go. Battles fought personally, 28. Battles auto-resolved, 152. Maybe the auto-resolver needs to be adjusted just a little bit. Just bring down the auto-resolve effectiveness of ranged units a tiny little bit. I mean, as we saw there at the end, it may be totally fair. It may be that the auto-resolver was fairly representing what would happen in many battles, and it's just that our ranged units are way too powerful. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of reason for me to personally fight too many of the fights in that campaign. Alright, well, that's going to be it for us for today, and for this series. Thank you all so much for watching. This is really good. This is really good. The Wood Elves are a fun and powerful race, and the new campaign totally rules. If you would like to see more Total War Warhammer stuff on this channel, don't worry, you will. I like this game a lot. They're going to keep releasing stuff for it. Let me know in the comments if there's a particular type of campaign, a particular faction, or maybe like playing with a particular concept in mind that you would like to see. Also, mods. I have never really played with mods for this game, and I know that there's a bunch that people really like. So let me know what you think would be cool to see in a series on the channel, and maybe it'll happen. I'm not making any promises to anybody here, but you know, we'll be looking for more interesting ways to play the game in the future. So thank you all so much for watching, and come back next time tomorrow for some new stuff, and we'll see you then.